Hello gorgeous people who love to scrap. It's not from Australia. Just wanted to do this quick vid to share a bit of info regarding my Raggedy Rag dolls, as well as a hair tutorial for these Raggedy Rag dolls today also with you all. And before I start off the tutorial for the Raggedy Rag dolls hair, just want to quickly just talk you guys through a couple of things. In November I will be making a custom order doll for Karen, and Karen goes to the market with me also every Saturday, and it will be Karen's birthday at the end of November, so Karen would like me to make a custom order for a Raggedy Rag doll for her birthday. So in November, around about mid-November, I'll probably be making my tutorial and uploading it with you guys on how to make one of these Raggedy Rag dolls. You can make these Raggedy Rag dolls any way that you like, using any kind of fabric to embellish her, laces, pearls, trims, whatever. It's up to your imagination and what you want to do. The original Raggedy Rag doll is Kimmy. Kimmy is the original one that I have picked up at the charity store, and she has inspired me to make other Raggedy Rag dolls also. She has beautiful tattered hair, and her outfit's just lilac gingham, and she has streaks of lilac gingham through her hair also, as you guys can see there. Really, really gorgeous. We have Rosie here. Rosie is a lot fairer, fair like as in fair skin, fair hair, than Kimmy, because her hair hasn't been tea dyed. This particular rag doll, which is Kimmy, the skins are very similar. It's just made out of calico fabric, but the hair has been tea dyed. So being tea dyed adds character and depth to the doll. Rosie, I made her really, really shabby chic and really pale. So I left Rosie as is with no tea dyed hair like that to match her whole body. And her dress, because she's really pale, her colour scheme is just really soft and just shabby chic. With dolly number 5. This dolly here is called dolly number 5 because her mummy hasn't named her yet, and she's a custom order, and I'm still waiting for her mummy to come and pick her up. So when mummy's not so busy, her mummy's just preoccupied with a family situation at the moment, so it'll probably be a while yet before doll number 5 is being picked up. But with doll number 5, her hair's been tea dyed also, and her dress is all tattered, made out of different laces and fabrics and stuff like that. So I just want to share a bit of information with you guys. For those who want to learn how to make Vase Raggedy Rag doll, these would be the basic requirements that you would need to form the base of your doll, as well as the hair of your doll. The clothing, the embellishments and all that, you can use whatever's in your stash. But if you don't have anything similar to what I have used here, you can go and buy it if you want to, or you can just use whatever you find in your stash. As fellow crafters, you probably will have heaps of appliques, heaps of rosette trims, and heaps of laces also to choose from. So creativity is endless. So pretty much to form the base of the dollies are all made from calico. So you would need about half a meter of calico to make the base of your dolly. Half a meter will probably make you at least 2 or 3 of the dolly. So you will need it for the dolly's face and body is all in one piece. Then you need 2 arms and 2 legs, and then you can attach it together to form the dolly. And you will need another half a meter to make the hair of the calico. And for the second half meter, you will need to tea dye it if you want the tattered sort of worn look. If you don't want to achieve the tattered worn look, you can leave it as is, and it would be like Rosie's hair. You see how it's just in its natural state, the same color as the arms there. So decide on the look that you want. If you want to make a pink one, because I love pink. I love all my pastel colors. Pink's beautiful, very feminine, very girly. So I've always kept my dollies in that theme. Whereas Kimmy here, Kimmy has got like a gingham lilac dress. That's why her dress is like that. She's the original one that I picked up. So my battery's flashing because I've done this about 10 times, I would say, the attempt to record this. So if my battery dies, I will probably have to recharge and do it all over again. So you would need half a meter of your base fabric, which is calico. Let me zoom in. Okay, so you will need half a meter of the calico, and you will need another half a meter for the hair and tea dye. So that's what it would look like once it's tea dyed. You can leave it torn or tattered, worn or tattered like this as is. This is very similar to calico, but it's actually a thicker fabric, which is from a recycled napkin, and I've used parts of it everywhere. So this is what I have left only, and I so love it so much. So that's what you will need. For the dress of your dolly, you will also need like any kind of eyelet lace wide ones, or eyelet fabric, as you've seen here. This is a really wide skirt that will eventually be used into a dolly's dress also. So I like to recycle. Dolly number 5's dress is actually made from a recycled shirt that has these eyelet trims on it, and the fabric is just absolutely beautiful. So you don't have to go and purchase all these fabrics. You can just go to your local charity store and you can just pick up anything that has eyelet laces on it, or just has beautiful intricate details, and you can use it to make your dolly's dress. You see, so that's what you will need also. And for the hair, like I mentioned, you will need calico fabric and TUT if you want a tatted sort of look, and you will need coordinating laces and ribbons to make the hair also. You see, as in the hair here, they have ribbons and different colored seam bindings and stuff like that to blend with the dresses. So depending on what you want for your dolly, you will use what sort of whatever embellishment you have in your stash. You can choose laces, you can choose seam binding, you can use scrap pieces of fabric like laces like this, and just add it to the hair. Also adds a lot of character and depth to your dolly's hair, and lots of volume also. So I will share with you guys this tutorial on how to make the hair. This tutorial on how to make the hair has been requested by a lot of YouTubers also, as well as one particular lady, which is Janelle. Hi Janelle. Janelle's from Australia also, and she has sent me a gorgeous package a while ago, if you guys remember, the lace package. And been meaning to do this tutorial for Janelle forever, but I have very little time, so I do apologize, Janelle, if it's taken forever. But today this video will be especially for you, as well as the other gorgeous ladies on YouTube who want me to share a tutorial on how to make the hair. The hair is made from lots of little hair gathers of it's hard to describe because there's no words for me to describe how they are, but they are made from like 5 to 6 strands of tied hair fabric pieces into a single piece, and then I hot glued all over her hair, so her head. So I hope you know what I mean there. So to make her hair, you would need, I would say, 15 to 20 notches of hair tie, something similar to this. And this is what I use. I've used similar hair like this on the dolly that I've sent over to Annie, because the fabric is the same. On dolly number 5's hair, as well as Rosie's hair, it's made from calico. Calico is a little bit softer, and calico has more rips on it, as you guys can see here, like more jagged, more frayed edges. Really lovely. It gives you lots of volume. This particular fabric here lies a lot more flat, and it just gives you a different look at the same time. You can use different fabrics. Doesn't have to be TUT. You can use black, you can use brown cotton, you can use all different kind of things. So depends on what you want to make. So let's go ahead. I'll zoom out and share with you guys the tutorial on how to make these hair strands. Okay, to make the hair strand, you will need some tea-dye fabric or whatever color fabric that you will like to use, preferably cotton. Polyester doesn't rip unless you want to cut it, but up to you. You can use any kind of fabric pretty much, but I like to use all cotton for my dollies pretty much. All cotton blend fabric, which is softer and a lot nicer. So what you want to make is make about 15 to 20 of these hair ties, and I will show you how to make these hair ties or hair knots. These form one strand of the hair, and you would need 15 to 20 or maybe more, depending on how fluffy you want your hair to look, how more volume, how voluptuous you want your hair to be also. So this is just a couple that I have made so far already, and I will share with you guys how to make these. So you would need a strip of fabric about 20 centimeters wide, and the length is as long as you want to make it, because you need to make the equivalent of 15 to 20 like I mentioned, and it's about 20 centimeters long. You can adjust the width or the length of the hair depending on how long you want your hair, depending on how short you want your hair. If you want your hair really short, then it will be more like a bob haircut here, and it won't be long and fringing like a little girl. So depending on what you want. So this is about 20 centimeters in half, so it'll be about just slightly shorter than 10 centimeters after it's been folded. So Rosie's got like a mullet type hair. She's got short hair at the front here, and then she's got really long hair at the back there. So you can add different lengths throughout the hair, up to you again. dolly number 5 here has all the same, like her hair is all the same length. They're not long or short, different layers. Like they're all just made from the same sort of length hair ties, and I just hot glued them on afterwards. So let me show you how to do the little hair ties now. And like I mentioned, you need roughly 15 to 20 of these particular hair ties to form all the hair that's needed to glue onto her hair. And like I mentioned, you know, for those ladies who message me and say, how do you do the hair, it's really simple and really easy. So what you do, like I mentioned, is from your strip of fabric about 20 centimeters wide and however long you need to make all these strands, just go ahead and cut 1 centimeter, and then you just rip your fabric. You need at least 5 strands of these rip pieces. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and from the 5th one, and after the 5th one, you can use, once you've done the 5th one, you can use fabric, the same fabric to tie, or you can use lace to tie. You need a 6th one to do your tie. You see on this one here, there's 5 strands, and then the 6th one is a coordinating ribbon or a coordinating seam binding or lace. Here I've used the lace, and that's what you can do. You can interchange them also. You can use the lace to tie, or you can use the lace to be one of the 5th strands, you know, like one of the strands in here, and then use the tear ribbon to tie, or you know, you can do vice versa. It doesn't really matter. But for this one, to add dimension, I will leave one as the tie and cut a piece of lace. So you can use any sort of scrap you have in your stash also. So just cut a piece of lace long enough, the same length as all your other strips that you have just torn, like that. Let me see if that's long enough. Just use the other one to measure, and it stops about right there. Okay, because this lace is being cut only, once you do tie, it'll probably rip, so I won't recommend you use that as a tie. If you just use normal lace, then it is pretty strong, you can tie it. But with anything that you've cut that's like this, it's recommended not to use as a tie, because I've already done some and they fell apart. So what you need to do is just use it as a strand, one of the strands, not the tie. So you would need 4 of the torn calico, and you can add your 5th strip. You can even add more. You can do more of the laces and less of this, as long as you have around about 5. That will add a lot of volume to your dolly's hair. And then you pinpoint the center off. It doesn't matter if some strands are long, some strands are short. Just make sure that it's pretty much equivalent on both sides. Just at different lengths also will add different texture to your dolly's hair. Then just find where the center is and just tie a knot in the center. It is that simple. All you do is just tie a knot like that and pull it tight so that it doesn't undo itself. And that is again one strand of your dolly's hair. Now look at the different textures you have on that. Really lovely. So you have that one. You have one of the other ones that I've already done with the different ribbons and stuff and laces in there. You see that's starting to come together already, and that will form the basis of your dolly's hair. And then once you've done that, I haven't got a dolly to show you how I will glue it, but from there it's really simple. Just pinpoint where you would like your first strand of hair to be. If you like it angled or you like it in the center, it's up to you. But just make sure that when you do position your dolly's hair, you position it properly. Too far back and she will have a really high scalp. I was going to say scalp, or high forehead. Too far down and her face would be really tiny. So you just want to make sure that you place it in the right position. To get the right position, when you do sew your dolly, I sew my dolly's head around like that, and then I turn the fabric inside out. Just work along the line in which you have stitched. To the ladies who have already made the dollies and just waiting for the hair tutorial, I'm not sure how you have made your dolly, but if you do have a seam, in where you have stitch, just follow the seam and just glue it just right a little bit above the stitching here, so you don't see the stitching, just a fraction over your stitching, and that will be your forehead there. And you just dab a bit of hot glue on the hair or on the actual head itself, it doesn't really matter, and then just place down your strand of hair and just hold it in place. And then your next one will just be right next to it. Just see where the next place is, dab a bit of hot glue there, or a bit of hot glue on your strand of hair, and then just hot glue it next to that one also, like that. As close as you can get it, the better. You don't want to space apart too much like that, or you have big gaps in between here. As close as you can together to hide her scalp, pretty much. You don't want to see lots and lots of scalp, it's not nice. And then you just keep doing your filling all her hair in all different places as tight as you can. As you can see here, there's many hair strands. See, there's one here, there's one here. You see, I didn't completely cover the back, and it's pretty bald there. You can add more hair if you like, but the hair will cover it like that anyway, so I just left as is because I was a bit lazy making more. But as long as there's enough hair to cover the back of it, that's pretty much it. So that's just my quick, simple hair tutorial for the ladies who have already completed their dolly but just waiting for the hair tutorial, and that's pretty much it. You will randomly glue your first one wherever you like to position it, preferably the forehead first, and then you work on the front of her head first, like to frame her face. And then you will work on the other layers and more layers and more layers out the back until you completely have fluffy raggedy hair, and that completes your doll's hair. So I hope this tutorial is not hard for you ladies to follow, and hopefully it's easier. This is just using the tea dye fabric that I mentioned. If you're using calico tears a lot better. Not tears in a lot better, but it lies flatter and they curl more. You see how it curls? How that's curly? And with the other fabric, it's more flat like this. So it really depends on the fabric that you are using. Calico will tear so much more better, as in it will give you nice edges. Like that. But if you cut it a little bit thicker, I think this is just smaller than, I think that's 3/4 of a centimeter, and this is, I would say, is a centimeter. You see what the difference is? The smaller you go, the more curly you like, the more textures you will have in the hair, and the thicker you go, the flatter your hair will be also. So do take note, if you want really curly, fluffy hair, you will try to tear it a little bit smaller. But meaning having to be smaller like this, you would need more than five strands of these. You will probably need 7 or 8 maybe. So see, we've got here, you see 5 strands only, and it's very thin. You see how that's got 5 strands and how much thicker that is? So the bigger the thicker, the smaller the thinner, but you will need more strands. The more of the thinner ones you will make, the hair will be more raggedy, and this one will just be more, it's not as raggedy. So I hope you know what I mean there. So if you're making them small ones like this, you would definitely need to make 7 to 8 of these strands, would be so much better than just 5 strands. Here I have just 4 here, but to add more volume to your dolly's hair, you would need a little bit more than just 4 strands of hair. Okay, so I hope you guys can follow this tutorial and it's not too hard for you. And let me know what you do think of my tutorial, because I'm pretty crappy at them. I'm not very good at making tutorials. So like I keep saying, I do hope that it's easy enough for you guys to follow, and that you will be able to make the dolly's hair, especially you, Janelle. Hopefully you will be able to complete your dolly's hair on your dolly's head, pretty much. And be able to give them to your granddaughters as a Christmas present. So thank you everybody for watching. I'll see you guys in hopefully a couple of weeks time for the full tutorial on how to make the dolly. Bye bye.